Hi everyone, hello, welcome. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ted Poor. I'm an associate professor here in the School of Music, and this is a real worlds colliding moment for me. Just about as long as I've been here at the university, I've worked with my friend Andrew, and this is really the first time that Andrew's here on campus and working here, and so it's just a real treat for these communities to come together and for Andrew to meet you all and vice versa. So really needs no introduction, but a really important and prolific artist for decades now, and I've learned so much from working on music with you, and please give a warm welcome to Andrew Bird. So we're going to play a few songs and then get into some new things, and we can chat and hang out together. So turn this stuff on.
They're profiting from your worry. They're selling blanks down at the DMZ. They're banking on the sound and fury. Makes you wonder what it all's got to do with me. Bloodless for now. Keep in mind with the altruist, selling, keeping my weight behind the dancing. Know it's hard to be an optimist. Trust least the ones that claim to have the answers. It's an uncivil war. It's an uncivil war. It's an uncivil war, yeah. Bloodless for now. Bloodless for now. And the poets, they explode like bombs. Bloodless for now. The gentry's drinking Moet Chandon. Bloodless for now. Turn around and quote a well-known song. Don't you worry about the wicked. Don't you envy those who do wrong. And your innocence will We're the best, lack all conviction. And the worst, they just keep on sharpening the claws, peddling in their dark fiction. What's left of us, well, we hem and we haw, we hem and we haw. Feels like 1936 in Catalonia. Catalonia. Bloodless tonight. Bloodless tonight. They explode like bombs. Gentry's drinking Moet Chandon. Turn around and quote a well-known song. Don't you worry about the wicked. Don't you envy those who do wrong. And your innocence will be the dawn, all the justice of the cause, wishing about the new Why don't you explain to us what you got going on here, Ted? Because put a lot of preparation and thought to this. Ted is putting his drums through an octave pedal that are tuned to, in this case, the key of that tune. So
exactly.
You can hear that.
So that was Bloodless, a song that we recorded 12 years ago, 10 years ago?
Yeah, 2016
something like that.
Or something? Yeah.
And so, let's see, I think I have these pitches here. I have.
This is sort of pentatonic E minor thing.
It's fun. This is something I messed around with a couple of years ago, and I put it aside and have brought it back. And it's that those pitches serve just about all of the song, with a few exceptions. So I think that octave tone might make an appearance in the show, multiple appearances. Mm-hmm. It almost wants to take my voice. No, it's not doing it.
And then you played some piano at home, recorded that,
yeah.
and sampled that.
So, I mean, going into this project, so Andrew and I have played together for 12 years or so, and it's at the smallest it's always been a trio, sometimes up to 5 or 6 musicians. And so this was an opportunity to work on some new stuff, which we'll get to, but revisit some old songs and strip them down and re-examine them. And it was a question for me of like how much to try and contribute and how much to avoid trying to contribute, to not pretend to be a full ensemble. But I did miss the presence of the piano from that recording, and so just at home with my phone, I made a couple recordings, and so I have this kind of sound, just a few versions of that. Got that chord, got that chord, and I have these. As you heard for that section. Yeah, it's an experiment.
No, it's good because I'm trying to comp on the violin, play it like a guitar, and I can hit certain things.
Yeah.
But it's not a natural supporting instrument like a guitar or piano.
Yeah.
So, all right, do you want to do?
Yeah.
This is just an old standard.
I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too fast. I fall in love too terribly hard. For love to ever last. My heart should be where school, 'cause I've been fooled in the past. Still I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too fast. fall in love too fast. I fall in love too terribly hard for love to ever last. March should be well schooled, 'cause I've been fooled in the past. Still I fall in love too easily. Oh, I fall in love too fast.
Let's do a new one.
Yeah.
I say new one, but I've been working on this song for 6 years. And it's taken from kind of spare parts of the song that didn't work the first time around. And then I got asked to write a song for Tanya Tucker. And I thought, why not? Why not give it a try? They were saying it like it's going to be her last album. So they said, it's got to be like Tanya's walking through the fire. She's like, she's seen it all. And so I took some of these spare parts and turned it into this song. And they didn't take the song, so I was like, okay, good, because I like this. It's kind of strange doing assignments like that. It's both kind of a relief to be asked to do something for something, like to be given a brief like that and say, write me a song that does this and this and this. Kind of like the old brill building thing where someone would come in and say, we need a song about our boys coming home from World War I, and then everyone would get to work on writing a song about, or the Dodgers winning the World Series, or it's just like topical stuff. And it's like, okay, I'm a professional, and it's kind of a relief to be like, not have to grab something out of the ether, but to just be like, I got to get to work. But then, when you really invest yourself in it and do something that you would have written for your own thing, then it becomes a bit of a crisis, because not sure if you want to give it something that you feel attached to or you put your own thing into, and it's very hard to compartmentalize. But in the case of this song, I fully reclaimed it from the little Tanya Tucker thing. Was just a little detour. So this is called Burden Down.
Used to just sit down at the kitchen table, feeling strung out and a little unstable, running on empty with the glass half full at the edge of my seat, feeling gravity's pull. Oh yeah, boom, boom, ba-da-da. I used to just skip town, wouldn't bother to pack, left everyone who loved me, and I didn't look back. Oh, crossing state lines was such a relief. I wasn't robbing banks, but I felt like a thief. Oh yeah. So then I stand up, clutching my drink, and send it crashing down into the dishes in the sink, 'cause that ain't me anymore. All these vices are such a bore. Here we go. La da 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 da. When you try to please them, you wear a heavy crown. La da 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 da. His yoke is easy, so you lay your burden down. Da da da. Lay your burden down in the morning. I got some old knickknacks I've been trying to sell. I'm getting a little tired of the stories they tell about the ego, super ego in the head, all those misadventures, stupid shit that I did, oh yeah. Boom, boom, boom. So then I'll reach out for something solid like a stone and say, please Lord, don't let me end up all alone, 'cause that ain't me anymore. All these vices are such a bore. Yeah, that ain't me anymore. All this running is such a chore. Here we go. Keep surviving if it makes us entertain. Bumper of my truck says, how's my driving? Let's see if I can explain. La da 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 da. His yoke is easy, so you lay your burden down. Oh, his yoke is easy, so you lay your burden down. I used to just sit down. I used to just skip town. I got some old knickknacks, oh yeah.
I played the wrong chord.
That's all right.
Yeah. So I think what we're going to do now, this is the first, no, we're going to do Guns of How I Feel. Sorry, getting ahead of myself.
So this is another new song. Sometimes songs start by kind of absurd things that pop into your head when you're exhausted. And this is one of them. It was just this line, the guns of how I feel. These are the guns of how I feel. Things that kind of don't make any sense and then make all the sense in the world. Is that the right key? D, 4. Jenny's got a razor hidden in the bathroom stall.
Her dispossession is complete, her back's against the wall. I think her mind has just been made. Comes the charge of the Light Brigade. She's gonna take out old sweet Paul and leave her enemies unscathed. She says, these are the guns of how I feel. Keep them in your back room, baby. Take a pound of flesh, beg, borrow and steal. These are the guns, how I feel. Johnny's got a moth collection, thinks it's really neat. He's gonna show it to the academy when it's all complete. And if those bombs hadn't started to fall, he could have been in their hallowed halls. Now he's just another pair of boots in the Light Brigade. He says, these are the guns, how I feel. Keep them in your back room. Take a pound of flesh, beg, borrow and steal. These are the guns. These are the guns of how I. These are the guns of how I. These are the guns of how I feel. These are the guns of how I. These are the guns of how I. Like a pound of lead in a fallow field. These are the guns of how I. Jenny's got another razor on the kitchen shelf. If she's gonna hurt someone, it'll probably be herself. Late at night the phone's gonna ring. She's gonna hear that little bird sing. Oh, this ain't my sweet Jenny, Jenny on the moor. These are the guns of how I feel. Keep them in your back room. Take a pound of flesh, beg, borrow and steal. These are the guns, how I feel.
Okay, now we're going to do something, another new song. For the first time, Andrew and I really collaborated on the writing side of things. And I want to play something for you. I have a little home studio and I mess around making music for my own enjoyment. Sometimes I stumble on things that I think of particular people for, and something about the thing that I made, I pictured your voice blending with the instrumental work that I created, and I'll just play a little bit of it over the phone here for you. This is what I sent to Andrew, and then you stewed on it for a minute and fired back a fully fleshed out song. So this is what I sent him. Let's see, come on. Oh dear.
It's totally unlike anything that I would have. Yeah, here we go. I thought it sounded like Twin Peaks or Blade Runner.
Yeah.
A totally different palette than my color wheel than my usual thing. And I was really intrigued by it. So,
by the way, this is satisfying my curiosity just hearing you talk over this.
Yeah.
These sounds. This is what I wanted to hear. So keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. So, for those who are aspiring songwriters, and if you're getting started, the best way I can describe it is when you have a melody like this, and usually I have a melody first, and in this case it came from Ted, and I let it get under my skin, and then I think about what's on my mind right now. What have I been thinking about? And in this case, I was thinking about, how like if someone just sat here and punched you on the arm for days on end, your bone would start to grow, or calluses, the skin gets tough, to resist whatever's trying to break through the skin or whatever. Then I was just thinking about growing that idea of things kind of getting stronger and to resist what's happening to it. And so I was thinking about friction and resistance, and I was kind of looking up some kind of, I was never good at physics and mathematical things, but I like to go to those things, as you may know from my work. It's like go to the scientific principles and theories, because it can exist both on a literal level and a metaphorical level at the same time within the song. So anyway, you get this melody and it's a blank page as far as lyrics, and then I start thinking, okay, I start mouthing things that fit the shape of the melody, but that are on topic with what I'm thinking about. So the first line was, callous and warm, breathless, and your dress torn, impervious to the thorn. Anyway, so it's about, I'm calling it Here's the Rub. And so it's all about resistance, friction, resistance really, like building resistance to things in your environment. So, wanna do it? Calloused and warm, breathless, and your dress torn, impervious to the thorn, to malice is scorn. And a bear's repeating, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Friction, static, alone in an electrical storm. Resist, 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 reborn. Resist, resist, flesh and bone reborn.
Here's the rub. You kicked yourself out of your own club. No matter how you clean and scrub, you can't get it out, the stain of love. Resist, 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 reform. Resist, resistance, flesh and bone reborn. Bears repeating that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Static friction, alone in an electrical storm. Resist, 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 reform. Resist, resistance, flesh and bone reborn. Callous and warm, breathless, and your dress torn, impervious to the thorn. Malice or scorn.
Would you say that's finished, do you think, lyrically?
No, there's one lyric that bugs me. Sometimes, the rhyme scheme is nice in some ways because it limits the variables. You have only certain things to choose from. In some cases, it can sort of paint you into a corner. And that line, can't get it out, that stain of love. That's just what meant, that's just to finish the phrase. But that gives me the willies. That stain of love. I gotta figure something else out there. I don't know. Or maybe I'll come around to it, but. Yeah, and what I was saying earlier about being given a brief, like a directive, either externally or giving it to yourself, is a good example is this next song we're going to do. It's on my finest work yet, and it was for this kids' TV show, like a live-action TV show. They wanted me to write a song, and I watched the episode, and I saw what it was about, and it was pretty simple. It was kind of heartfelt. I don't really remember the show at all. And so I wrote the song about people needing to communicate without words. And when I tend to write for these things, I just wrote a song for The Pit where I watched the scene and I'm like, okay, everyone's feeling this, everyone's doing this, let's make everybody cry. And I end up writing very fast and very direct, emotionally direct and simple, and totally unlike my own stuff. Like, there's no layers to it. There's no things that make you scratch your head whatsoever. It's just like, it's funny. It's just they're so, happens so fast, like 20, 30 minutes, and it's done. And that's this song, Cracking Codes, was one where I wrote it for this show, and my manager heard it, and she said, "Don't give that to them." Like this. You just have to look into my eyes. You don't need a secret code. No need to play it being spies. And though I may speak to you in tongues, we don't need Rosetta Stone. This song is sung, and what I say is true, yeah, true, true, oh yeah. Sound absurd, but you can read between the lines, yeah, and you can savor every word. There'll be times when we are stammering through tears, so gnawing out from crocodiles. Will be music to my ears, to your ears, to my ears, 'cause what I say true, yeah, true. 'Cause what I say
years ago, we embarked on a record project to play some American songbook standards and other jazz tunes. You had a specific group of songs that you were enamored with, and we found a way to realize them. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about, because this is different than your own songwriting.
Yeah.
How did you come to approach jazz and American songbook repertoire?
Right. I got into it. It's been the most consistent thing that I've part of my listening diet over the years is kind of traditional to kind of 30s through 50s jazz, and my first songs that I wrote were more in the jazz framework, like a song called Why. It's like a 32-bar jazz ballad, you know. A, no chorus of what we know in pop music to be a chorus. It was just like, you know. So that tune we did earlier, I Fall in Love Too Easily, that's Sammy Kahn, I think, and we're going to do Caravan. That Caravan I've been doing on stage since I was 19 or 20, and just never get tired of playing that tune. So, but then the record turned out to be more of a singing record and more of a lyric record than I expected. Something happens when I open my mouth to sing is once you hear the human voice, I want it to be quick. I want it to get to the point. And you know, like I thought we were going to do a more extended improvisational thing, and it was, but it was like as soon as I hear those words, I switch into this mode of like, okay, how are we going to craft this into like a perfect arcing experience, you know, like, and so it took an unexpected turn in that way. And I think like, I felt like we were approaching it in kind of post-genre sort of way. Like, maybe these are just folk tunes, or what, I don't know exactly. But it was all sorts of things going on, like also exploring the instrument and the singing, the fact that there's a few players / singers like Chet Baker and Louis Armstrong that would sing and then pick up their horn and play right after they sing, so you hear the connection between the instrument and the voice. And that's also became like an unexpected, interesting thing with this album. And then, yeah, I thought it was going to be more of a wild, extroverted, like the three of us playing out more, but you ended up taking like a much more understated approach, except maybe on Caravan, but which is testament to your adaptive musicianship, you know. But it was cool, just the three of us, you know, playing in that, strictly in that genre.
Yeah, we're referring to the record Sunday Morning Put On.
Yeah.
And it's largely a trio record with our bassist, Alan Hampton. Jeff Parker plays a little guitar,
Yeah.
Larry Goldings plays a little bit of piano, but it's mainly the trio.
Yeah.
And we recorded in the B studio at Valentine Studios, and it's a really pretty small room.
Yeah.
And live vocals, everything very much live, so the balances had to be particular, I would say. And yeah, I think we leaned into this, like you were mentioning, the sound of the instrument. I remember most from that session just enjoying the texture of the drums, the texture of the bass. Yeah. And it wasn't so much about the playing content, the licks and the ideas. It was more about, delivering the song with this, palette of sounds. Yeah. And just soloing with the intent of creating a new melody, not with the intent of taking you out into uncharted territories necessarily. It's just melodic. The goal is melody, you know. Yeah. But we were doing Caravan, and Ted, we had a set of vibes. I have a set of vibes, and he started playing this riff, which I thought was so cool. Very creepy. It's true.
Night and stars above that shine so bright. The mystery of that fading light that shines upon our caravan. Won't you sleep upon my shoulder as we creep across the sand so amicable? Mystery of our caravan. Oh, listen, this is so exciting. Oh, you are so inviting. Here within my arms as we thrill to the magic charms of you. Coming true within our desert caravan. Stars above that shine so bright. Mystery of that fading light that shines upon our caravan. Won't you sleep upon my shoulder as we creep across the sands of Emilia? This mystery of our caravan. So exciting. You are so inviting. Here within my arms as we thrill to the magic charms of my dream of love is coming true. Within our desert
I just want to say this is very much an open rehearsal. Most of the stuff we've been working this morning, but the stuff we're doing right now we haven't really touched so much, and it's exciting and a fun challenge to find our way. I'm speaking for myself. Like, I got all these instruments, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with them and why. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to do one of your tunes?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so this is a song of mine entitled Emilia. Emilia is my wife. This is the one and only song that I've written really with her name on it and for her. And I think...
You play piano?
Yeah, I'll play piano on this. Just go right on it. We'd like to take a moment now, before we run out of time, to open up the floor. If you have any questions, particularly for Andrew, go for it. Raise your hand if you could speak up so we can all hear you. What's on your mind?
Yes, that's a good question. So the question is, how do you kind of stay present, I guess, when you're playing night after night, and there is like muscle memory, and there's a lot of painful blisters and calluses as well. It's a challenge, but I make sure I play with people like Ted, and mostly with people from a jazz background who appreciate a good song, but also appreciate how to keep it fresh and how to pinch yourself every time you go on stage. That's the thing, is like there's certain little rituals to kind of remind yourself to be awake and receptive to new things, because it is hard not to just kind of go through the motions. But when I go to shows and I see a band that's going, I can tell is going through the motions, I break into a cold sweat. I feel such a visceral reaction to that. So I make sure to remind myself not to let that happen. It's tough though. It's like sometimes it's 4 or 5 shows in a row, and yeah.
Well, and I would add that the reason I want to keep playing with you and love playing with you all these years is, yeah, we might play the same songs just about every night on a long tour. But like you're saying, we're all more than warm bodies on stage. And we're more than just delivering the song. We're really finding what is the sound and what is the feel today and tonight and on this stage.
Exactly. And there's certain songs that you need to put in the set where you know you can always get to that place in, and they tend to be more elastic and more simple in the structure. Or I just throw in some wild card every night, something fresh to just, that's the act of pinching ourselves, is to have that one thing that you're a little worried about. It affects the rest of the songs around it, to have that sort of X factor song. Yeah. Good question. Yeah. As songwriters, and the question is inspirations from the past, from songwriters mainly, or players too. I was not interested in pop music in my teenage years. It was sort of peripheral. So the upside of that is like all these bands that I wasn't interested in at the time because I found pop music repetitive. I hear later on, I'm like, oh, the Smiths, they did some cool stuff, you know? But I have no nostalgia about it because I was playing violin concertos in high school. But now my kind of touchstones are for my own writing are people like John Prine, Townes Van Zandt. Both Prine is a good example of, I don't know if I'll ever be able to write songs like that, or if I ever should write songs that are that beautifully concise and say so much with so little, but that is the ultimate goal, is to to say as much as possible with as few words as possible. And So there's people like that that kind of remind me what to go for. Trying to think. I mean, in my formative years, I was just all over the place. I was just from one week to the next, just into some different obscure gypsy music, Eastern European music, Irish music, West African music, Brazilian, Angolan. I was just all into something different every week and just soaking it up. And, yeah. I know that going through hard times or being depressed doesn't really help. Because it takes a lot of almost excessive confidence and happiness, perhaps. I mean, happiness is not the word, but that delusions of grandeur to some degree to think I can write this great song today. But that the feeling you get up in the morning is like, today I could write that song that's going to get everybody singing the same tune, you know? Like you can unite the world through this song or something. It's like lofty motivations, but that's sometimes what it takes to get off your butt and get to work. But melancholy, melancholy is that word is mostly associated with sad, but the point of that word is that it's a mixture of sad and happy. And it's one of those words that doesn't have a clear definition, but we all know what it means. And different cultures have their own words that are kind of abstract concepts, like saudade in Brazilian, or like Gezelligheid in Dutch. Like this, it's just trying to capture something that's impossible to put into words. But yeah, the motivation to write is usually it's for me. It's like the melodies will come while I'm just doing the dishes or doing the most mundane things, not really thinking. That's when the good stuff comes, and when it's really good, it sticks and it keeps playing in your head, and you think, I need to do something with that. Or anything that gets under your skin, you think, whether it's instrumental or what, usually it is instrumental first, you think, I want to turn everything into a song. You know, anything that feels important to me, I want to turn it into a song. It's an impulse that I can't explain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. Yeah. Yeah, the song Bloodless. I had recently decided to stop doing that song. I was hoping I was going to stop doing it for good reasons instead of bad reasons. I thought once everything, but after what happened in Minneapolis, I was like, it's been escalating year after year. I mean, it's tricky when you do a topical song like that. Yeah, I kept waiting for that song to be obsolete. Yeah, I just wanted not to have to do that song anymore. But it does have an important the main message underneath it is like we need to learn from mistakes of the past. That's the reference to the 1936 and the Spanish Civil War and like the fractioning of the left into ideological little silos and infighting, and we're going to need to unite to resist what's the fascism that's happening, and it's also talking about how we're all being played a lot. You know, we're all being played against each other for profit. None of this stuff is at all obsolete, unfortunately. So I guess I'm glad Ted encouraged us to do it again, because it is still important. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Things come back around. Like, I've been doing stuff for Mysterious Production of Eggs, and that stuff seems very quaint. Now, there are some political songs like Tables and Chairs, and it's like, you know, it seems almost too much levity and playfulness, but that was 2004, you know. So, but it doesn't mean it. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I even like go in and like think of changing lyrics, because I know people are taking things at face value, and I'm like, whoa, things are getting so serious and heavy. Like, just my little inside joke is not landing anymore. I need to, but then I change it. And I'm like, what am I doing? That just doesn't feel right. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's the reason there's songwriting teams is that the division of labor, it makes it much, I'm not going to say easier, but it's like, it's much easier than communicating inside your head between, you know, the pull to want to do something melodic and lyrical and make the syntax conform to that, and then the need to say something clear and pointed. Those are the two things, push and pull. So if you've got, I don't know what the dynamics were of those songwriting teams, but I do envy the division of labor. Has to make things easier, I'm sure.
Does it ever keep a song from progressing the tension between the two?
The songs will always grind their way towards being completed, and there'll be placeholder lyrics that I know are doing what they need to do melodically, but they're not doing what they need to do with the message. So I just wait for it to reform itself, which I'm doing with a lot of stuff right now. Loose ends, they eventually get there. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've known a lot of songwriters who are very reticent to share before something is finished or what they perceive as being finished. And that impulse is not going to help you. I like to share songs when they're half written to see what, because the act of doing it for people, though scary, tells you things you can't tell when you're just in your room alone. So I can do a half-finished song and then I can get, I know where I need to go with it now that I've played it for people. And but it's not ready to be presented to the world. That impulse is comes from perfectionism and maybe worries of how it's being perceived and stuff. That I would just try your best to get over that because you need to project it out into the world, even if it's not finished. But the inner critic, yeah. I'm going through a period right now of healthy self-doubt, 19 records in, it doesn't ever stop. It's always, it just keeps going. Yeah.
Hey, Andrew, we're about out of time.
Okay.
We can leave it there. We can play one more. What do you want to do?
To leave it with music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks so much. We're gonna play one more. Yeah. Hold on.
But thanks for your great questions. Sisyphus peered into the mist, a stone's throw from the precipice. Pause. Did he jump or did he fall as he gazed into the mall, the morning mist? Did he raise both fists and say to hell with this, or just let the ride roll? Let it roll, let it crash down low. There's a house down there, but I lost it long ago. Let it roll, let it crash down low. I see my house down there, but I lost it long ago. Well, I let the rock roll on down to the town below. Down there, but I lost it long ago. Lost it long ago. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. I'm letting it roll away. It's got nothing to do with fate and everything to do with you. I'd rather fail like a moron than flail like a guy on a lighted rod. History forgets the moderates. Those who sit recalcitrant or taciturn, you know I'd rather turn and burn than scale this edifice, yeah? Where's my
mountain, so take my hand. We'll do more than stand, we'll claim this land. Take my hand and we'll let the rye grow. Let it roll, let it crash down low. My house down there, but I lost it long ago. Let it roll, let it crash down low. I see my house down there, but I lost it long ago. Lost it long ago. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. I'm letting it roll away. It's got nothing to do with fate. Thing to do it. Sisyphus peered into the mist, a stone's throw from the precipice. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Andrew Bird.